Hello, ladies and gentlemen, crypto deep divers. Welcome back to Weekly Crypto. Today, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. So, why the US dollar will print Bitcoin to 100 trillion. Also, I will touch on pEOS airdrops. And also, there was some giveaway from Binance for the Enjin token. So, just in case you are new to the channel, just to remind everybody that make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out the upcoming airdrop giveaway, hard fork or token swap. Also, you can follow me on Twitter as well. And if you have already subscribed, make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out the upcoming airdrop or token swap. So let's get into it. So for EOS and Bitcoin, we expect to see those two cryptocurrency will go to zero. Because of there's some changes in the trend of the overall sentiment of the market. So we don't know how low it will go. Well, today is April's Fool Day, so this is a joke, okay? So don't freak out. And I'm pretty bullish long term in terms of cryptocurrency. But this is not a financial advice. Use your due diligence. So let's talk about why the US dollar will print Bitcoin to 100 trillion. So the rundown is basically the dollar's inflation is a feature. Basically, you lose your purchasing power because of the inflation every year. And Bitcoin hit dollar parity 7 years ago, but Bitcoin price crashed, right? So, but Bitcoin doesn't care. Bitcoin is a black hole for fiat. So the thing is, they expect the market cap could reach 100 trillion when you're looking at the historical data, like the trends for the US dollar and the Bitcoin. When you look at side by side, you will see that will hit a trillion market cap. And because the dollar, the inflation is basically a feature to build in. And because you lose your purchasing power every year. Since 1913, the year the Federal Reserve was established, the dollar has lost over 96% of its value. So basically, your purchasing power of the dollar has lost 96% since 1913. And in the good old days, you used to say, hey, I only pay 1 cent for certain types of thing. 1 cent you can buy a lot of stuff, but right now 1 cent you can basically buy nothing. And also because of the link of the currency from used to be before the Nixon, used to be backed by gold, right? The dollar, because of the link of the gold standard during Nixon in the 1970s, you can no longer use your US dollar to redeem gold. But before 70s, you can redeem gold with your US dollar. So basically, US dollar is not backed by gold. It's backed by nothing. Basically, it's maybe backed by faith. People believe in it. And don't forget, with the financial collapse and everything, they print tons and trillions of money into the pumping into the market. And all this going to the stock market, to the real estate, it pump up all the prices. And so overall, the prices in 2016 were basically over 2,000% higher than average price in 1913. This is according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Consumer Price Index. And also, basically, the world's reserve currency experienced an annual inflation of 3.14% over the last century. And also in other fiat currency, like in developing world, they have like Venezuela, they have hyperinflation. And for example, Algerian currency have lost over roughly 80% against the US dollar in the past 5 years alone. And basically, the dollar is designed to lose value over time because they keep on printing all this money. So keeping your hard-earned money in fiat currency basically guaranteeing that you lose at least 3% of your wealth. Your wealth will be evaporate, and also, or you can lose your purchasing power, like at least 3%. And in terms of inflation rate, Venezuela over 2 million percent for Venezuela. Iran is like over 399%. South Sudan is over 100%. Argentina 47%. Congo 41%, Libya 32%, Sudan 26%, Syria 25%. So this is a tweet from the Rhythm Trader, and he's saying that Bitcoin is the lifeboat. So Bitcoin hit dollar parity 7 years ago. So when Bitcoin first launched in 2009, because of the response to the financial crisis, if you still remember 2008 with the Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns collapse, and there's a whole bunch of merger, Bank of America merged with Merrill Lynch, and Chase merged with Chase Manhattan. So Chase merged with JP Morgan, right? So all these big banks are merging, otherwise they cannot survive on their own. And basically, of the financial crisis, the Bitcoin was first launched during that time, and it was considered a pipe dream for them to, for Bitcoin to reach $1 at the time. I think it's like less than $1, right? Isn't it? So miraculously, it took only Bitcoin 2 years to reach the parity, and this happened 7 years ago on February 9, 2011. And the only time during that time you can buy a Bitcoin probably during that time is Mt. Gox, the platform to buy those things, right? This is the only available exchange at the time to buy Bitcoin. And this was also the infamous period, the Bitcoin pizza. The people use the Bitcoin to buy pizza. Now it's worth like tons of money. And there's a tweet back in those days, like I didn't have faith in Bitcoin back in February. Now it's trading at $30. And they say, oh, regret. So at the time it's only $30. Right now it's like almost 4,000, right? Bitcoin. And from this this guy tweet about, I wish I had kept my 1,700 Bitcoin at 6 cents instead of selling them at 30 cents. Now they are $8. That was May 16, 2011. So now Bitcoin is like almost 4,000. That's interesting. And so basically, because we know that there's only 21 million Bitcoin ever exists, that you cannot have any inflation. For example, Ethereum, they have inflation. EOS, they have inflation. Bitcoin, cannot have inflation at all. And on the other hand, the supply of dollar in the world is basically tens of trillions. They can print whatever they want. It's basically irresponsible fiscal policy and all that. And every time they just, printing all this money to solve the problem. The next financial collapse, they're going to print trillions and trillions of money. And with the next financial collapse, they don't have any ammunitions to tackle the collapse, because the interest rate is already low. Interest rate is one of the ammunitions the Fed can do to help the economy. But right now, the interest rate is all-time low. So, what other ammunitions the Fed can do with the next financial crisis? So also we haven't talked about the derivative markets. Derivative markets basically leveraging, like crazy, which is 10 times of the total world's GDP. And this is a basically very unregulated sector. It's actually considered to be one of the biggest risks to the global economy and could compromise a staggering 1.2 quadrillion US dollar. So hey, but Bitcoin price crashing, right? So and it's interesting. Bitcoin is not a commodity because it does not follow the supply and demand. And that's why it is so volatile. And also, it's not a currency or legal tender because it is outside the government or central authority. And another thing you can see, go back to Bitcoin is basically money 2.0. That basically they appreciate over 84,000% against the US dollar over the past 7 years. So you can see the last 7 years in terms of the percentage change is over 84,000%. Last 6 years is like 4,000%. Last 5 years is 785%. Last 4 years is over 1,500%. And so that's so on and on. And for example, last 1 year, of course, you are going to lose because of the bear market is like negative 43%. And last 6 months is negative 37%. But I think the upside is, to me, is unlimited. The downside, you can control the downside though. And Also, another thing, Bitcoin doesn't care because you probably heard about Bitcoin died tons and tons of times, right? There's like hundreds of obituaries for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin basically has died 349 times. So this is pretty interesting as well. And so basically, despite crashing against the dollar multiple times throughout history, Bitcoin always recover to go even higher. And so if we stop looking at the crash from 20,000, we can start look at the historically yearly low. Basically, the yearly low for 2012 is $4, 2013 is $65, 2014 is $200, and 2015 is 185, 2016 is 365, 2017 is 780, 2018 is 3,200. What about 2019? What do you think? Please comment below what do you think about what will be the low, the yearly low for 2019 for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is also a black hole for the fiat. And because today the interest rate are historically low, and the Federal Reserve and central bank have that they will continue not only print more money, they will pop up the financial system, but also negative interest rate as well. If you're retirees, if you have money in your bank account and all that, you're going to lose out because you're not going to get any interest because of that, because of the easy money policy after the financial collapse in 2008. And the question is remain when, not if, all this newly created money will trigger hyperinflation. So this is a matter of when. This is very true. So because right now all this printing money thing is stay in the financial system, stay in the institution, it hasn't gone to the average Joe yet. So right now, so that's why the stock market popping up, the real estate popping up. Those are from the institution and from the those financial market. So, but the thing is, Bitcoin, on the other hand, it continue to mine blocks, confirm transactions 24/7, and an uptime of 99.983% in its 10 years of existence. At some time, almost 85% of all the Bitcoin have already been mined. Don't forget, May 2020 will be the next halvening. Right now, for every block, you're going to get 12. The miners is going to get 12.5 Bitcoin. For the next halvening, May 2020, they're going to get 6.25. That means the mining difficulty will be even more difficult, and more Bitcoin will be mined out, and that means there's a scarcity of Bitcoin. So basically, right now, Bitcoin, let's see. Another interesting, it seems like Bitcoin price are pretty low right now. In fact, the US dollar has already dropped 10% in value against Bitcoin in Q1 2019. That's really interesting because we are in a bear market, and yet the US dollar already dropped 10% in value against Bitcoin in the Q1 2019. And stock and bonds have already rallied in the first quarter of the year because the central bank basically they pump almost 1 trillion in the liquidity in the global market. Do you guys still remember last year before Christmas, we have a mini stock market crash and all that, before Christmas. And if they don't pump the money to the market, the market will continue to slide down. So basically, central bank have pumped almost 1 trillion in liquidity in the global market, the S&P and whatnot. You can see the money supply has increased as well in this chart. So Bitcoin market, there's a guy in Twitter called Plan B. He believes the trend is obvious. He believes that quantitative easing mean Bitcoin is eventually hit a market cap of 100 trillion as the dollar print up its price. And also, they recently shared a new model that put Bitcoin at a $1 trillion market cap sometime in 2020 with the May halvening. And I think he predicted the price of Bitcoin will be around, after the halvening, will be around 55,000. So this is not financial advice. This is just based on his analysis. So use your due diligence. So the halvening will also mark the start of the period when Bitcoin inflation rate will drop below 2%. That is pretty interesting. So there's like negative inflation. No inflation. this is even better than the fiat currency. So what do you think? Will Bitcoin reach 100 trillion market cap in the future? Do you think Bitcoin will go 55,000 when after the halving in May 2020? Please comment below. I would like to hear from you. What do you think about Bitcoin, the directions? The next stop, we're going to talk about the pEOS. So remember, we have pEOS airdrop back in February 15, and they did a snapshot for the airdrop. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio for the pEOS airdrop. So the thing is, in order to keep the pEOS, you have to send tiny amount of pEOS to any EOS account. Otherwise, they probably will take it away. So you can send 0.0001 pEOS to any EOS account and all that. So let me know if you guys have already sent the pEOS to the EOS account and use it. Otherwise, they may take out those airdrop. And they said that you have to claim the airdrop using this website, or alternatively, you can send any amount of pEOS to any EOS account. And the airdrop is already automatically go to your EOS account. So I was just saying that just send yourself a pEOS, tiny amount of pEOS that will keep the airdrop. Also, Binance is going to give away some, they have an AMA coming up on April 4th, 1 p.m. UTC time, and that will be in the Binance English Telegram group. There will be over 1,000 plus Enjin token back ERC 155 token giveaway. So you can check it out if you are interested. So if you find this video helpful, smash the like, subscribe, also share with your friends. Also make sure you comment below. That will help my ranking in YouTube. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. If you have already subscribed, make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out the upcoming airdrop, token swap, or giveaway. Also, you can follow me on Twitter as well. Remember, crypto deep divers, we the people take control of our money. Stay wise, stay safe, peace. I'm not a financial advisor. Investing in ICO or cryptocurrency has inherent risk. Please use your due diligence.